Good morning everybody, welcome back to my channel. Belinda here, Visualized NZ. Yesterday I did Trashcraft Tuesday and I made a masterboard and did some journaling cards out of it, which I don't have to hand because I actually filed them away. Surprise, surprise. I was going to show you. But anyway, after I turned off the camera, I went ahead and collaged up a few more pages of this junk mail. And I've backed it all with newsprint, butcher paper, whatever you want to call it. So I thought, let's just have a little mess making sort of session in making some journal cards, decorating these up so that I've got them ready to go. Otherwise, I don't know when I'll get back to them. So I invite you to craft along with me. Grab some supplies, whether you do collaging or whatever you like to do. And just keep me company. I would really love that. I wish I could sort of have interaction in real time, but of course this is a recorded video, isn't it? Probably should be cutting this with my ruler and knife, but never mind, I'll just have to straighten it up later. So I'm just trimming off the edges of the overhang of the newsprint paper, just to start with. Tidy it up a bit so we can then chop it into our journaling cards. Now there are areas where the paper's not glued down fantastically well on the butcher paper, but I am thinking about sewing around them all anyway, so I'm not terribly worried, but I can always just get the glue stick in under the edge and add a bit more if I decide it really needs it. So there we go. So it's Wednesday here in New Zealand and it's a beautiful morning outside. I went outside to grab a lemon off the tree and was surprised by how beautiful and warm it was. It was lovely because it was super cold yesterday, freezing wind, cold inside and out. And this morning it's freezing, well not quite freezing, but quite cold inside. I haven't lit the fire because there's no firewood in. And I'm a bit sore today, so I'm sort of moving quite gingerly, so I don't really want to take a trip out to the woodshed on the uneven ground and through the long grass and everything. So I'm just kind of toughing it out, hoping that it will warm up, and if not, well, I might be spending a bit of time out reading on the deck where it's nice and warm. So that doesn't sound too bad, does it? Never mind that I've got lots to do. I need to get done on the computer, but you know, if I have to go and sit outside in the sun or the warmth, well, so be it. Yeah, I should be trimming this edge with my ruler because it's not at all straight. Right, that one more to do. So I've just got 3. I thought we can make a good batch. Might get 6 journaling cards out of this, plus some other bits and pieces, depending how I cut it. I might see if I can work out how to get maybe 3 out of each. The shape of it's a bit unusual though. It's taller than an A4 and narrower, so it does affect how you can cut it and what you can get out of it. But considering it's all scraps and junk mail, it doesn't really matter, even if there's some wastage, which I try not to, because it just becomes other things, even if it's a cluster. Right, I'm not going to trim that edge. I'm going to learn my lesson and not cut that edge. Right, so let's grab our first one. Before I cut them, I am going to do some stamping. So yesterday when I did them, I did the stamping individually on the journal cards or journal card that I made. Today I am going to kind of hit them all at once, so it's a bit more random. And I've got my little archival coffee ink here. I just thought I might go for this instead of the black, and this is a wee scripty one, so I'm just going to pop that in places around and just do all 3 together randomly. And I'm going to vary the direction of the text so that it doesn't matter which way out it comes when I cut these apart. And I'm just using my hands. I'm not using a block for this because I think it gives it a sort of more organic feel to the stamping instead of being a perfect impression. Oops. And you just get bits and pieces. Right, and I have a stamp off card here. Not that there was much ink left on that. Right, so I'm going to switch to this kind of Hessian type texture, and this is a Kaisercraft stamp. And I really like this one, but when I do it in black I find it quite heavy. So I thought I would try it in the coffee for just a lighter effect. So move that out the way so you can actually see hopefully what I'm doing. So I'm not trying to cover the whole thing. I'm just popping it down completely randomly, not even really looking at where it's going. Just add interest, texture, and that layering up effect, because we like layers. Layers add depth. Oops. There's some shiny magazine paper in spots, so I imagine it's going to smear on that a little bit until it's dry. But that's okay. Even if it rubs off, it's not the end of the world. Once it's dry, it will be fine. Right, there we go. I think that's enough of that one. And I've got one more stamp that I want to use. And that's this. Now this one I've had for quite a long time. It's got all different, bit of ledger type stuff, bit of French or Italian, I don't know, either or. Foreign language text, and it's just got some really pretty scrolly bits and just interesting. So add some of that. And I think I've had this for years, but I think you can actually still get it on AliExpress. Probably a different seller than what I bought it off, because I've had it for so long. But no, so have a look for sort of background stamps if you're interested in something like this, and I'm sure you'll pop up with something like this, even if you can't find this particular one. I don't know if you can hear that meowing. I'm sort of getting to the point where I can have the curtains open for the French doors, which are right beside my desk, and she's sitting on the other side meowing at me on the outside. She can come in, the door's open, but no, she's sitting out there meowing at me through the doors. Funny girl. That's our Snuggles. Haven't been very in the direction on this one, so I'm just going to turn my paper and do some the other way. Right, I think that one's good. Just do a few more on here. Just looking for spots that might need a little added. I think that one's good, and let's do a little bit more on this final one. Right, and I'm calling that done. Okay. So, what's everybody got planned for the day? I have not too many plans today. I need to do this video. I need to do my video for Friday. Excuse the froggy throat. And I'm hoping to do some computer work, but depends whether I can, you know, get into the office with it being so cold. If I don't, then I might just treat myself to reading outside, which won't upset me greatly. Right, now which was the side that I cut crooked? I think it was this side. Yep, it was this side. Just looking at the papers along it, and I recognise which ones I had towards the spine. So just having a wee look here as to whether I need to trim it down a bit. Yes, I do. And I'm going to have to eyeball it because I can't actually see my grid line. So I'll just line the ruler up on my mat, on the edge of my cutting mat, as being the closest straight edge that I can see. There we go, and straighten that edge. So while I'm at it, I might as well go ahead and do the other two. The essence of mass making is doing the same job all together in a row, and then you move on to the next job. Oops, I think I actually cut on my blue mats then. Never mind, because I went completely off the edge of the cutting mat. Now this one, which way round did this go? I think it was this side that was crooked. We shall soon find out. Yes, definitely that side. Crooked as a dog's hind leg, as they say. Do you have that saying? I haven't actually heard that for ages. Something my mum used to say when we were growing up. I have no idea in reference to what she used to say it about. I guess it was just small things, daily things. But yeah, crooked as a dog's hind leg. I need that out. I don't know why I'm putting it away. Oh, a bit froggy this morning. I think that's due to being out in the cold wind yesterday. It's just kind of brought a bit of throatiness back in. Right. Oh, my stomach's gurgling too. Hopefully you can't hear that. Right, how big do I want my journaling cards? Let's have a look at a typical one to see. Almost thinking I might be able to get two out, even if they're slightly not as deep as they would normally be. So let's go for that and give it a try. If they don't work, well, they can just become tags. It's no biggie. Just got to adjust on the fly if you decide that something's not quite. So I'm going to make them slightly longer than normal, and that might make up for the not being so wide. So let's give this a go and see. Oops, I didn't cut all the way through there. There we go. So if we take that in half, so yeah, it's slightly longer than a normal journal card that I'd make out of a Reader's Digest page. And let's line it up so it's kind of, so I can work out a center point. So that's there, so that would be there. And that looks to be roughly the middle. And yeah, the slightly different shape to my typical journal card that I'd make, but absolutely still work. And if I changed my mind at some point, they could easily become tags as well. But I am aiming for journaling cards. So let's see, just using this one I would typically size as a guide. Okay, so this one is just a fraction longer than normal, which is fine. All happy with that. Now something's not straight here. What's not straight? This edge isn't straight, so let's straighten that up first. Or just cut my journaling card out, and then I can straighten the other edge. So let's go a little bit wider than normal, and then that will leave us with this bit that will make a good tag. There we go, there's that one, and this one I just need to go ahead and straighten that side. It's not off by a lot. Oh, now it looks straight. What have I done? I don't know, it looks straight. Okay, we'll just go with it. Okay, so this is, so I'm just going to use that first one that I cut as just a template to measure against, make it easier and quicker. Yeah, so I went out yesterday for, supposed to be about an hour, but it turned into more like an hour and a half. And the book sale that I went to a couple of weekends ago now, I did the book haul last week, if you've seen that video. Well, I was talking with the lady who actually, one of the organisers who lives a couple of doors down from me, and asked her what was being done with the leftovers. So the leftover magazines she delivered to us, and I got all those, a few boxes of them, and they were going through, sorting through the books and discarding anything that they didn't want to keep hold of for the next sale. So she invited me to go down and have a look and take whatever I wanted. So that's what I did yesterday. I went down and there were banana boxes. Trying to think how many. I took a photo of them stacked up. There might have been like 10 banana boxes worth, and she kept adding to it as I was going through. But she was very good. She'd add them to the box that I hadn't sorted through yet. And I came away with one banana box and 3 shopping bags full of books. A lot of old books, a lot of children's books to use the images and things from. Right, so out of that I've got the same pieces as that first sheet, so I'm just going to do the same with this, and that just keeps it nice and easy. Yeah, so that was really lovely. So an hour and a half of bending over a lot of books and sorting through them and carrying heavy things to the car. And so my back is sore today and my ankle is sore. My ankle doesn't like carrying heavy things and doing lots of walking, and of course I was doing a lot of standing on concrete. So my ankle is complaining quite loudly today. So anytime I move, I just moving very carefully because it's quite painful. Now, did I cut that the right way, or was I too busy talking? I think it's okay. Yeah, I did. I cut it fine. Yeah, and my back, my lower back is a bit sore, so I didn't sleep very well because it was hard to get comfortable. Anytime I moved, my back was just like, yeah, telling me all about it. And I had a cat at my feet. I had Georgie at my feet, so he sort of affected how I could move as well. So I'm not going to be doing too much. I was going to go to the supermarket and get a few things from the supermarket, but I can't really face walking around the supermarket today. So the yummy keto treat that I wanted to make will have to wait a bit longer till I can get hold of the things I need from the supermarket. Okay, so that's all chopped up now. We have, what have we got? So we've got 6 of these taller but narrower ones, and for some reason they're slightly different. That's okay, doesn't matter. They're not going to all be going together. And I think I made a mistake in cutting. No, I've got 3 that size, slightly bigger, and then I've got 3 tags and no wastage. So just being careful about how you cut just eliminates the need for throwing bits away, apart from straightening edges. Right, so I don't imagine I'm going to get all these decorated, but let's start with one of these ones. Oops, just going to fix this. I noticed the pots of paint on the side of my desk are about to fall off, so let's just fix those before there's a big crash. And I think I'm going to round the corners on all of these just because I like that look. You could snip them, you could just leave them square, you could use decorative corner or decorative scissors, however you like. I'm just going to whip through and do all of them because that's part of the mess making, just getting it done. Yeah, so that was my day yesterday. I had planned on doing 3 videos yesterday, but I kind of lost my mojo in the afternoon after I got back. Got back to a lovely warm house because I'd left the fire going, but I just kind of went a bit flat. So I did do a second video yesterday, so that's the one that's going up tomorrow. But yeah, I didn't get the 3 videos that I hoped, so that means that today I need to do 2, which is fine because I'm going to be out the next 2 days. So video for today, which is this one, and then video for Friday, which will be the wonderful video, which is the last one, last weekly one that I'm going to do on YouTube. So from November I'll be doing a wonderful video once a month on YouTube, and then I'll be doing the rest of them will be over on Patreon. So super looking forward to that. Got a lot of work to do to get ready for Patreon, so I'm still saying I'm launching it on the 1st of November, but yeah, if I don't get the work done, it's all full of bits, corner bits that I've chopped off, then I might have to revise that, but that's okay. All right, just get rid of these off my desk so they don't bug me. Right, and I'm going to leave the tag ones for now, so I'll pop those aside and just concentrate on the journal cards. So let's go back to this one. I will be distressing around them all, but I think I will do that off camera. So I'll just do this one, maybe. I don't promise I won't do the rest on camera, but I'm thinking I'll just ink the rest of them off camera because I can do that once I've decorated them up without boring you all to tears. So let's get to the fun part, the decorating part. So I've got an array of things in front of me of different embellishments that I might want, and I have my bag of texty, scripty, music, etc. bits. So I might start with something out of here, and let's go for some music paper because I love using music paper. So just go with 1 sheet for now, and actually maybe some pattern paper. Grab that out just to see what I like. So I am going to start with music though, and I love this. It's very thin, it's very small, So because it's out of a hymnal, it's very small music as opposed to sheet music, which is quite large with lots of white space. This has less white space, so it's really fun to use. And I think just along there, so some things I'll distress and some I won't, just depending what I want to emphasize. But I don't want to particularly emphasize this, I just want it to add another bit of interest in the background. So, I'll be going through a lot of glue pages, I think. I've already been through a few doing the collaging, as well as a glue stick. I'm on to another glue stick, because it certainly takes a lot of glue, all that collaging of little bits, even bigger bits, like it's still the same surface area. Right, and what would I like on this one? I'm thinking bird. Let's have a look at the bird, see if I can find one that will fit. This is a pretty yellow fellow. Does he stand out enough, or do we need something a bit darker? No, they're too dark. Don't like them on this. I actually kind of like those step here. So let's go with them. Now I leave little bits intact when I'm fussy cutting them out, just so that they don't tear while they're sitting in a container waiting to be used. So I'm just going to take a moment to cut out these bits around their legs. Concentrating, so I've gone quiet. Sometimes I do this, and then sometimes I just cut through like the leg at a point where it's not obvious, and fussy cut out with my scissors, and then when you glue it down you can't even see where you cut through. It just depends what mood I'm in. Yeah, so, and I just see there's a little bit I missed on the outside, so I'm just going to get my fussy cutting scissors in and take out that little bit of white that I missed there. If I'm doing it at night and the lighting's not that great, it's very easy to miss little bits. I'm just going to give it a light distress around the edge. Whoops, without damaging it too much. The beauty of gluing things down though is that it really does hide any oopses or issues with cutting, any little bits of white that have got left behind. And the distressing does as well. It covers those bits. So there we go, just giving that a light distress. And the next trick is to get the glue stick on without it being gouged out by all the little cutouts that I've just made. Didn't do too bad that time. So let's pop you. Now, always once they're cut out, not sure which way, like is the branch supposed to be straight or is the bird supposed to be more upright? I guess it's just a matter of whichever way looks best on the day. So let's just go with that. It's not like anyone except maybe the author or the artist who drew them would argue with me that no, they're supposed to be angle more to the left or more to the right. Right, happy with that. And do I want a label? Let's have a look and see. I'll have a look at my Shabby Cottage Studio labels. Oh, maybe one of these. These are 9 of Crohn's labels. Just flicking through and saw them. Thought, I forget about these ones because it's only 2 pages in my little label book. A lot of it's Artzology or Shabby Cottage Studio, and sort of they're tucked in between them, and I forget about them. Yep, I like that one. The grey sort of goes nicely with the birds. So I'm going to distress that up a bit as well. And this vintage photo distressing just will pick up on the coffee stamping in the background a little bit. Right, so that can go right there. Right, do I want anything else? I am thinking some liquid, what are they called? Liquid thingies. Not liquid pearls, these are a cheaper version, liquid drops. So I'm thinking some of these for fun. Right, what colour? Maybe silver, or do I want to add a little bit more colour? Ooh, I wish you could tell me. What's this one? Cinnamon. Kind of feeling gold. Let's go. It's called Farrow. So let's go with this one. Sometimes these are a bit blocked when I go to use them. So hopefully it works okay. No, it's not coming out. So where's my poker tool gone? It's hiding. Darn it, I can't see it. I might have to go to a different colour if I can't get this one out. Okay. Hopefully I'll get one of them to work. I don't use them very often. That's the thing. This one's coming out. So often I get it out in a big splurge and then it's away laughing. So no puss. Puss wants cuddles. So I'm just going to put 3 wee dots there. And then a trick I learnt from Gail on her channel, Gail Agostinelli, is to give it a tap to make them flatten out a bit. Otherwise they've got points. Almost there. And it really does work. Yep, they're different size dots, but I'm not worried about that. They look cool either way. Mummy's busy, puss. You have cuddles later. Right, so now I need to pop that aside to dry, and it does take a wee while to dry, and it is cool inside, so it's probably going to take longer than normal. So let's do the next one. Shall we try some tissue? No, puss, you're going to make everything fall down. No. It's very hard when he just stands on my husband's chair beside me and looks at me. So if a cat lands in my lap, that's Puss. He can be very insistent. He's busy purring. They have their ways, they do. These kitty cats. Right, so I'm just going to put that little bit of pattern paper, pattern tissue down there. And then I'm going to add a little bit of music paper as well. Just layering it up. I don't imagine you can hear him purring, but he's now down beside me on the floor, looking out the French doors. Right, so we've done a bird, so how about we go for something else on this one? Got the Apothecary labels. Let's go for a flower from Artzology. So these shops I'm mentioning are all on Etsy. If you're wanting to pop along and see something that I've used and consider purchasing it, so I will try and link the shop names in the description box of the ones that I've used. Now these might all be a bit big. This one. Oh, I like that one, and I just need to trim the leaves off just a little bit. So, give it a distress edge. It's quite, I find it not that easy to just dress the edge of fussy cut things. Getting in all the nooks and crannies is, yeah, it's not easy. But just got to give it a little time, go gently, and not be too worried about getting it perfect, is what I've found. And yet I do tend to try and still get it perfect. I don't know, what can I do about it? Just be conscious of it and try and not get it perfect. Right, so I've just got a little bit of leaf down the bottom to trim off. Just a smidge. Get that, because it's got glue on, it was now stuck to my fingers. Right, so I need something over here. So maybe I'll go for a, oops, now I'm creating avalanches. Can't blame Puss on that. What about a wee stamped ticket? What would that look like? Give it a wee cut out. And this is stamped onto eco-dyed paper, I think. I'm not quite sure whether it's coffee dyed or eco-dyed. It's only a scrap. I think it's eco-dyed. It doesn't smell like coffee. It smells more leafy, I guess. So I think it's eco-dyed scrap that I've stamped on. So I was talking about getting my wonderful video done for Friday. Is anybody following along that series? I'd love to know what you think of it, and if you participate, I'd love to see what you do too. I am super excited by the whole thing, and I'm having fun with it, but I want to share the fun. I'd love you to have fun with it too. Right. And I'm thinking layering that up as well with something else. I'm not sure what. Got some little stamped. No, I don't really want another flower. Maybe a postage stamp. Let's have a look at stamps. Looking at the colours. We'll try that, see what it looks like. Just tear some of this excess paper away. I don't usually bother taking the stamps off the envelope. I quite like the effect of having that paper around them, because to me it's just another layer. And then if you do have a postmark on it, then you've got added stamp as well. No, not liking that. Let's go for a number and see if I like a number better. I'm thinking something round might work for me. Got a round one here. Yep, I like that, but I'm feeling like I need a third thing just to make a wee cluster down here. So maybe, I've got a word on the ticket, but I'm thinking maybe a word. all sorts of containers I'm opening, aren't I? Yep, let's go with that. It says Piece of Paradise. Okay, so give this a little bit of a distress edge. And which way round? Right, I need the word to be on top, otherwise it won't be readable. Yep, and then I'm just going to put that over top of both, and I really like that layered effect. And what I think I'll do, just to take it has got a pattern on this word, it's printed pattern, but just to take away from what looks to be white, I'll just give it that little bit of distress ink just to tie it in with the other two pieces, which are, well, one's eco dyed and this is eco dyed with brown ink, so just ties it in a bit more. So there we go, there's our second one done. Oh, that's right, my other one's drying. Do I want to put liquid drops on this one as well? Why not? Let's go for the yellow as well. And this time I might put just some sort of liney bits, if I can, in places around the flower. Just give the flower a bit more dimension. Sort of dotting it, line, sort of dragging a line, varying how it looks. Just it'll give it a little bit of shine once it's dry and dimension, and I think that could be a little bit of fun, something different. And down here. Right, I think that's going to look rather cool. I haven't done that before. I'm just going to give it a bit of a smack again. And I don't know, whoops, don't land it upside down. Whoops, which way am I doing it? Can you see? Hopefully you can see. Don't know whether it's showing up in camera or not. Right, another one to put aside to dry. Right, how are we going for time? Oh gosh, we haven't got much time at all, but we can probably get one more done. So let's keep it simple and stick with the music rather than grabbing out something new. Yep. Oh, cats are coming and going through the cat door today. Hey Snuggles, she's finally come in instead of meowing at me through the window, through the door. Right, so we've done a bird, we've done a flower. What else might we want to do? Ah, I know. I've got this catalogue book here of art, and picked it up free from a lady who was destashing, and it's just got really cool pictures of artworks in it, and try and find something that works colour wise and that will fit, because some of them are obviously too large. Pink, no, not after pink. I want something different to a flower though, if we can. There's some nudes in here as well, you may notice. I'm not after a nude. Hopefully you just enjoy seeing the flick through of this while I'm mulling over what I want to put on. One of those could be nice. There's a bit of blue in the collage. So let's go for just this bottom one. I've got no preference over one or the other, so I'll just take the easy one to get to. And there's nothing on the other side that I want, so that's good. On most of the pages I've got to decide which side I go for. And they are numbered, and so what I do is I just take something and layer it up over top to cover the number. So a stamped number or a word or whatever seems to work or look good to you is just what I use. And for some you can actually cut the number off without damaging the look of the artwork. Depends on the sizing too, so whether you need to trim it down. So I do need to lose a little bit, just a smidge, because I don't want to cut into the words. So I'll just take a little bit off the bottom here. Hey Snuggles. Now Snuggles is down beside me looking out the French doors. Okay, so that almost covers all that music. Does that matter? Let's try it on the other side. Let's put it on that side. This is shiny-ish paper, so hopefully the ink doesn't move around too much while I'm handling it. Once it's dry it should be fine. Change out my glue book page. It's got a bit of the liquid drops on the corner there where I tested it, splurted it out. Oops. So of course I've still got to distress around these and potentially sew. I often don't sew merely because I can't be bothered getting my sewing machine out, setting up everything and getting it done. It's so much easier when you've got things just out all the time. Let's go for a blue label. But yeah, because I'm not in a position where I can have it out all the time now. I hope to be able to get back to that point where I can have it out. And then it's really easy just to zip around something as you go, which is fun because I love the look of sewing on journal cards and tags and things, but it is quite a process to get it out to sew anything. And so unless I've got a big pile of things I want to sew, I've got to really decide, yes, I'm going to get out the machine and do some stuff. Right, there we go. So that can go down there, covering that number. I like that. Do I want anything else? Let's go back to the stamps and see if a stamp will work here. Yes, I quite like that there. I'm just going to take a little bit more of the paper off. There's no postmark on the stamp. It seems to be these days they don't postmark things. Well, here in New Zealand anyway, and it's very annoying because you're losing that beautiful detail. And people are also reusing stamps that have already been posted, which I think is quite naughty. But I understand people doing it because the cost of postage has gone up so much. And if they can't be bothered to postmark the stamps so that you can tell they've been used, well, it's kind of like they're not helping, New Zealand Post is not helping themselves to stop people reusing stamps. So, yes, that's my little bugbear, is that they don't postmark stamps anymore. And that's part of the interest in the stamps, is the postmarks. Right, do I want a word inside that little tag, frame, whatever you want to call it? Let's see. These are all garden related ones, so possibly not the type of words that I want for this particular image. No, not really going to work that well. And my other ones are vertical, so perhaps we won't have a word. That's okay, we don't need a word. Oh, I do have one more place to look. So one of these might work. Too big. Too big. Wrong colour. Oh, blowfly, go away. Let's go for peace. I like the colour of it as well. And then I think we'll call it a video. I had hoped to get more done, but it seems to take me a long time fluffing around. Although I did leave the cutting up of them, so I guess that took up time at the beginning of the video. So anyway, that's 3 more done that I didn't have before, so that's okay. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Hopefully, I really hope you've crafted along, done something. If you did, let me know what, oh sorry, let me know what you made. Share pictures if you like in my Facebook group, Visual Vibes. I'd love to know what you've been up to while listening to me rattle on. There, yeah, really like that. So we got that one done. I don't think I'll add liquid drops to that one. We've got this one with the birds with our 3 little liquid drops up the top here. And then we've got this one with the rose with the liquid drops I've used on the rose on that one. So we've got 3 done, 2 which need to finish drying. And I distress around them, maybe so, and distress around the back of them as well. And they're all ready to put in my container to be used as thank you gifts. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to hearing from you, either as a comment in the video, in the Facebook group, or on Instagram. You can find all my links down in the description box, as well as the suppliers that of things that I've been using. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.